The first tent city I was in was in Resurrection City in Washington, D.C. The government let us stay there for a while. Then the city of Washington, D.C. and the United States government told us, y'all got 48 hours to get out of Resurrection City and clean it up and take your tents home. We stayed. They came with their helmets on and their billy clubs, and they tore up Resurrection City, beat us up and put handcuffs on us, and haul us off to jail. But it is better to stand up for what's right than to run and feast. So we stayed. It is your decision. If you all go to jail, I promise you that we will get you all out of jail. If I go to jail, I'm staying. Now let me tell you why. One of the lessons we learned in the civil rights movement, see, there's only a limited amount of space in them jails. Yeah? So you see, if I took 100 people to jail with me on a Friday, you know what I knew? I knew I had whatever city I was, because they didn't need us in jail. They needed them jail cells for people who was breaking the law. Yeah. So if I would tell a city, and I've done this to this city, no, I'm not paying no bond, keep me in jail. You know what they do? They drop the charges. Because they ain't got no space for me and 40 or 50 demonstrators. And if they say, we say, well, no, we're not going to pay no bonds. We're not going to hire no lawyers. Y'all put us here, just keep us here. Well, we know they couldn't afford to do it because they need the space for people breaking laws, not for people like us. Here again, this is your decision that you all must make. Whatever y'all decide, I will support it. And the people who support me will support what you all decide. Here again, it's a decision that you all must make. Any other questions? Any other questions? Yes, sir.
In the General Assembly, they have decided to move to the other spot. And what I understand is a contingent of people that are willing to stay here on Sunday and be arrested. Right? Would you support that small contingent?
Yeah, here again, one of the things that Martin Luther King used to tell us about when we were students, he called it participatory democracy, where everybody was somebody and everybody had a voice. First, do not fight among yourselves. You know, if there's some people who want to move to another park, that's all right. If some people want to stay, that's all right. Yeah? Whatever you all decide, do it together. Those who stay, if you go to jail, we'll come get you. Yeah? Be peaceful, be nonviolent, but it's all right to make the police work now. Every time I was arrested, I took a seat and made them carry me. Now I was never really a heavy fellow, but I had some partners that Reverend Stovall here, I was going to bring him out here tonight. He's a 300-pounder. See, when he sat down and said, y'all got to carry me, they got to get some help. Any other questions?
We should make him drag us off.
Yeah. Yeah, make them carry y'all. You know? I can't hear you.
Sorry, my voice is going. Can we get resisting arrest if we do anything like that?
Talk about resisting arrest.
It won't stand up in court because you didn't resist arrest, you just refused to walk. You see, some that resist and take me to jail, but I ain't walking. You know? And in most instances, because we've been through this so many times in the nation, they know not to charge you with resisting arrest for refusing to walk. In the civil rights movement, it's called going limp. We just go limp and make them carry. You know? And in terms of with the nation watching, that's a powerful picture for the nation to see here.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
How many of us do you think it would take to actually make it? How many people do we need to have committed to being arrested to make it worth that happening? And obviously, if they arrest 5 people, it's not going to be that.
No. I wouldn't do it without at least 50 people. A minimum of 50 people. And you have to make a decision. One of the things we used to tell police departments, when y'all come and arrest us, that's not a decision that the police should make, that's a decision we make. We decided who was going to get arrested, when they was going to get arrested, and we just using the police department to get us some good publicity from the nation. But that should never be their decision. But I would not do it with under 50 people, because if 50 people are arrested in this park, CNN gonna talk about it. Here? Yeah. See, France and Germany and England, they're gonna talk about that. You know, so, but no, I wouldn't do it with just 5 people. You'd miss the opportunity to make your point, you know. Yes, ma'am. Well, what this sister asked is, on day 1 you all had over 1,000 people, and her question is, why aren't they having they come back? First, in terms of understanding protests, you got to understand everybody can play a role. Some people, all they can do is make sandwiches. They're not gonna march, they're not gonna live in no tent, but let them do what they can do to participate. Some people will come march with you, but they're not gonna spend the night. Let them come march. Then the other thing, you ought to have a team whose job it is to continue to organize and mobilize. Those 2 words, organize and mobilize. This is a mobilization. Somebody who was organized mobilized you all. You can't mobilize masses of people unless you're organized. You can't organize thousands of people. You have to organize a small group who are on the same page. You develop your methodology and you develop your message. And your message is important. In the civil rights movement, we call that developing our lyrics. So when we would leave Atlanta, Dr. King would send us all over the nation. All of us would be basically saying the same thing and telling the same story and explaining what the same mission is. So there was consistency in our message because we was organized. And then we went out and mobilized thousands of people because we were organized. So a part of this group responsibility ought to be to go and organize and mobilize. You know, my job in the civil rights movement was to organize students and mobilize students. So I would go to college campuses and high school campuses and mobilize and organize students. That was my responsibility. So what you all are doing, I mean, it's not going to happen overnight, but stay committed to what you all are doing. And people are going to come and join you all. The more abuse you all get, the more people are going to want to join what you all are doing. Any other questions? Yes, sir. I can't hear you. How old was I? Well, I was a high school kid when I first joined the civil rights movement. You know, I grew up in a civil rights family. I grew up in a civil rights church. You know, so my father was one of the founders of the NAACP in Louisiana. The pastor of my church went to jail with us.